Okay, so now that we have deployed the policy to the management server, there should be a couple of processes running on it. I'm just going to run the opcsv -status command, or status, depending on which part of the world you come from. I'm just going to pipe that to more. Okay, so what I should see here is I should see a process running called the Event Correlation Manager, which is opc-ecm, which I do. That's excellent. And another process which is probably running will be the ECS Annotation Manager. This process is used to allow ECS to communicate with the outside processes, or OV Composer in this case. That's looking good. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to take you through setting up a very simple correlator so that we can actually test that this works. And we're just going to do a very trivial example. We're going to create a correlator that will acknowledge any messages, or filter any messages if they've got an object field of test. So to set that up, we have to run up the OV Composer design GUI, and we do that by typing OVO Composer space minus UI. I want to run it in user interface mode. Okay, and here we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a correlator. So within the OV Composer application, we've got different types of correlators we can create. We've got enhance, multi-source, rates, rates, repeated, and suppress. In this example, to get us started, we're going to use suppress. Suppress is a correlator that will allow you to suppress messages based on advanced type conditioning. So I'm just going to call this my suppress correlator. I can put in here a definition of what it does. So I'm going to say it suppresses messages if object field is set to test. Click on the definition tab. And then what I want to do from here is I want to put in my filtering bit. So in the alarm signature, I click the drop down list. I click on find the drop down list. I'm looking for message object, message text. I think it was object at the start. Here we go, object, and I'm going to say that the object equals, then in quotes, double quotes, I put in test. Okay, so if a message comes through, has an object matches this condition, which is object equals test, then the message gets suppressed. So I click OK. Now the next thing I need to do is save this configuration as a FactStore file. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to call this my store.fs. Click Save. I just override one I did previously. Click OK. Next thing I need to do is I need to deploy that. So to do that, I need to close the FactStore file. It's very important, otherwise you get file locking problems. So I'm going to exit out of this. Click OK. And then all I need to do is I need to install it. So I do that by running the OVO Composer command again. So it's OVO Composer space minus install space minus ms. So minus install space minus ms space minus fs, and then the name of the FactStore file which I created, which was my store.fs. So what I'll do is I'll just put that into a notepad, bigger document, so you can see it on the screen. So the command I just typed was OV Composer space minus install minus ms, because I want to install on the management server, minus fs, and then the location of the FactStore file, which in my case was in my current directory, so I'm going to call it my store.fs. Okay, then we click return. and no news is good news. It hasn't given me an error message, so we'll assume it's been deployed. Next thing I need to do is I need to set up the stream interface. So what I'm going to do on the management server is I'm going to tell the management server to divert all messages that it receives out the stream. The stream is where OV Composer is listening for messages. The only messages that will come back into the stream and hence into my message browser are messages which OVO Composer allows through. So to set up my stream, I go to my management server and I want to go to server configuration, manage server configuration. So server configuration, manage server configuration. And what I need to do from here is I need to click on the wheel and I need to click on edit. So click on the wheel and click on edit. And what I want to do from here is I want to enable the message stream interface. So if I enable it, then I got a choice. I can allow the individual policies to decide if they want their messages deployed out the stream or not. In my case, I'm going to tell it to globally divert all messages that it receives out the stream interface. OV Composer will process them through, and any messages that OV Composer filters or blocks won't appear in the browser. All the other messages will. So I click on Send All Messages to out the server MSI, and the option I want to go for is Divert. Set that to Divert. We're looking good. Now I need to go to Save. And now let's test it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back onto my management server and I'm going to run a OPC message command. The command I'm going to run is OPC message. So I'm going to send two messages in, one that's got an object field of test and one that hasn't. So the command I'm typing, again I'll just put it in Notepad so we can see it better. I'm going to type OPC message A equals A, O equals test, message underscore text equals test, sev equals critical, and that's the first message I'm going to type, and the second message I'm going to type is the same, but I'm going to put the object field set to test1, like so. So let's send them in. So there's the first message coming in. There's a second message coming in. We'll see what happens in the browser. So we're expecting to get the message with an object field of test, but not the message with an object field of test1. So let's see what happens. We'll open the message browser, and there we go. We got the test1 message, but not the test.